Yeah. So, where am I in the shot here? Hey, I want to be in the shot a bit. There. Welcome back to the grind. And as Willie would say, the Franken-Hover. So, it's coming along. The bassinet part is sort of looked after. And I've got this all reinforced down here. Lots of stuff put together in there. Motor is fitted in. It's just sitting there. And this part here, like this bassinet part, I'm going to have that lifting off so I can service anything in there. So I have to still build some around here, likely cut this edge off so that it directs the flow of air a little bit better. Anyway, stick around, you'll see everything I did. Lots of fiberglassing, just fiberglass, build. I think last time I didn't have this built. I'm not sure. Not sure what I did. I think I built this, made this thing, beefed it up, put it back together here. It was cut, and put a new, like a fan guard in there. I'll have another one about here, I think. Like, here's my mold. So about right about there, I'll put another one in, just to keep hands and things out of there. Make it so that a safety thing, and it also directs the flow of air a little bit. So we'll see how it goes. Anyhow, thanks for coming back, and please enjoy. We'll see you next time. Yeah, here I am, new episode, same day, right? What do you do about that? Anyhow, the my dog is with me here. Don't know what he's doing, but there must be something good underneath there. Anyhow, I've mixed up half a liter of Yucco Gupo. So I'll get that going, and it goes on this shell that I built. Well, in the last episode, you'll see I built this shell out of, that's just aluminum, scraps of aluminum that I had that I was able to just drape over and try to make it as close to a bonnet as possible. I think that'll work. And I have a big scoop at the front, so later on I'll have to put some guards in there to keep children out of there, right? Anyhow, we'll and dogs too. So right now I'll just start glassing it and see what happens. Yeah, so there's about 3 layers on there, and I'm gonna let it be for overnight now. There's a couple of little spots like there that I have to be pat down. Maybe I'll get that before I leave, right? Can't do it now. Need a rubber glove for that. So put a rubber glove on and do it. See if I can pat that down a bit. Oh, excuse my. Like here, there's just to get it to sit flat, eh? Sometimes you're better off not to touch anything because you just make it worse. Which in this case is what's going on. So I'll leave it alone. And then tomorrow I'll sort that out. Okay, there we go. Mostly it's like that'll harden up and be something decent there. See what happens tomorrow. Okay, so I'll see you next time. Bye for now. Yeah, here I go again. And so a couple of little, I gotta, whoops, there. Gotta grind that little bit off there. But mostly it came out pretty good. There are no big bumps or anything in it. So now, gotta grind that out, and then a couple of little spots here I should just sort of, not too worried about them really. And then now I'll just put on, that's like 3 layers on there now, so I'll put another 3 or 4 layers on just to get it good and strong. And it's got the shape right down into here and everything. So I think I'm going to be happy with that when it's peeled off there. I'll see how it looks when I get it done. But it sure does. Took lots and lots of lots of pushing and scraping, eh? Anyway, might be all right. Might be all right when it's all done. I've got lots of the white stuff, fiberglass, and I've got lots of this resin stuff. I've got enough to go. So I'll do a little bit more. I'll do another 3 layers today. Yeah, it's 4 o'clock now, 3:45. So I'll do another 3 or 4 layers. Do you think you can be patient with that, doggy? You think that'll work? And then I won't take it off of here until I decide how am I going to fill in all this stuff back here. So that'll be pending. Okay. That's likely not a great place to be, doggy. Wonder how it worked out inside here. Oh yeah, that'll be a good tight fit everywhere. Good. Can you see that? All the way around. So I'll put some bracing, like these little braces that I have here. I'll put a couple of them up the side, just so that it's a removable thing. Then that should look all right. Okay, I'll get at it. Whoops, there we go. I'm pretty sure the top's got enough layers on it now. It's just a matter of getting some more layers down the sides on each side of it. So that's what I'm doing. That's another layer going on, and then I'll work on the next layer. Yeah, so now I've thoroughly lost count of how many layers are on here, but I think there's about 8 layers on the top part, which is good, and maybe 6 layers along here, and maybe 4 layers along there. So I've got to do more layers on the sides. Same here. More layers on the sides, and then I got to do some layers down in here. So that's good for today. I'm gonna leave it. I got supper time, so time to go. Anyhow, and I'll come back and do some more tomorrow. Cool. Yeah, here I am, back at it again. The Hurricane Hovercraft, back on it. So what today now, I think what I'll do is I'll strengthen this bit along here, right, at the bottom, both sides. Then I may start building out a little bit out here just to come out to this edge here. See if that works, see what I can do about that. Don't know for sure what I'll do about that. I could always use one of these panels that I made, but I think I'll save them for something else. Might have to use a little bit more metal. I don't know, and I've got more metal over there, so I could do that. I'll think about it a bit. But it's starting to look a little bit like a bassinet from a child's, like a baby bassinet, right? Anyway, we'll get this part here strengthened. I think I'm all right for this area. Just over in here needs more strength. So I'll do the whole bottom. Maybe another 3 layers down here. Same on the other side, 3 layers. And then I think I'm done with the main bit of it. This might take 4 layers in here. But that's mostly done with the main bit of it. Then I'll let it dry overnight, separate it, and see how it looks in real life without the mold underneath it, hey? If it'll separate, who knows, eh? We'll see. Okay. Yeah, so I know it's hard to know the difference here, but I did put another bunch of layers on here, and I think there's enough on it now that it'll stand up to quite a few RPM on the propeller. This will get cut back around here somewhere, and then I'll put a lip on it, and then we'll put a couple of guards across the front. Oops, I'm a bit back here. I'll put a couple of guards across the front just to keep children out of it, for one thing. Look at that, you can see right to the back there, and there's a doggy back there. Can you see the dog? There he is back there. Where is he? There he is. Anyway, there's That's all I can do for now. I just gotta let it sit now. Once you get all the major work done, it's only just a matter of touching up. So there's about 8 layers on top, maybe 6 or 7 layers here, and maybe 6 or 7 layers here, and about 5 layers in that, right? Maybe 6. Same thing here, 8 layers on top, 6 or 7 here, 6 or 7 here, and I'll just let it cook overnight and then see what happens, see how it looks tomorrow. Might have to go over it with my little thing there to get some of those air pockets out. I'll just see what happens. This thing here, which is, I'll put on a pair of gloves and I'll show you. Hang on. Yeah, I've got my twirly thing here, so you just go across and it'll take out any air pockets that are in there, or else make them worse. I'm at the point now where I think it's maybe too late. Oh no, there's an air pocket coming out of it. It'll just push it right up to the top there and be gone. The more air pockets you get out, the better, but then there's little pockets in there created by bumps from the previous layer. But you know, there's a big air pocket there. Just push it out to the end. Push it out to the beyond, right? Most of these other ones are just little. Oh yeah, this thing here does a good job of getting the air pockets out. Once you get the glass laying flat on itself, then it becomes more rigid, more solid, more everything. I guess that's about as good as it's going to be, which is not bad. I think it'll stand up to just about anything I'm going to put it through, so we'll see. Now I have to think about, my next thing is thinking about how to build this out here. But what I'll do first is I'll take take this contraption off the mold, I hope. Might be stuck there forever, but I'll get it off the mold, and then I'll sort of fit it to here. Don't know how for sure I'm going to do that. I might put a little bit of a lip on the inside of it, that like put a metal lip on the inside and just make it so it sits over that and becomes like a hood, and then bolt it on. But I haven't decided what I'll do about this yet here either. That may be, I may just run a patch down there and make that one a single unit from the back to the front, which is what it used to be before it got chopped up a bit. But then I don't know how to get into it to do up these screws here. So, well, that would be easy if I made a hood. Then I could just screw that in there and that'd be all done and solid, and then the hood would just slide on there and it might work. Okay, well, I'll just think about it a bit more. Yeah, don't use your gloved hand for this. Yeah, here I am back at it. So I'm going to see about popping this thing free now. Oops. Popping this thing free of the outer cover here. The doggies jumped right in there. You like the Hovercraft dog? You wouldn't want to be in there when the fan's going. So maybe I'll just set you up here and just see what happens. It's all an adventure, right? Now, a little more light on the picture there. There you go, doggy. You're being a movie star there. Well, there. That was easier than I expected. Yeah, there's what it looks like on the outside. Hey? So now I'll just take my framework off of there, and I'll put that on there, and then I'll decide where I have to cut it. And that's something. That's, well, I've got to get squeezed through. Well, I'm surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised. This will all cut off because it's not going to be, that's not strong enough down there. But the plastic all comes off pretty easy. The doggy, you'd love to have that plastic, wouldn't you, dog? I think you're not having it. Garbage. Okay, so now I'll just get all this plastic out of here. And we'll put it back on and see what I have to do. See what the next step is. Right? Plastic all comes off pretty easy. Well, it won't come off my fingers too easy. Comes off an awful lot easier than wax paper does, I'll tell you that. That's for sure. Now, is this going to be strong enough when it's turning, you know, a few thousand RPM on the fan to not suck itself in? I hope so. I think so. I think it's just as strong as what it was before, if not stronger. So it'll likely be all right. Well, how do you like that, eh? Actually, it looks pretty good on the inside. Looks better on the inside than it does on the outside. Which is something. Whoops. I'll point down here for a bit. There. That's all the plastic off of it. Or all that I have to get off of it. Now, I'm going to put, when I decide, I'll cut it out to size that I want. Whoops, pointing the wrong way. I'll cut it out to the size I want. And then after that, then I'm going to put in some ridges along the front edges and along the sides so that it's got a little bit of strength there. And that'll be just more fiberglassing, but that'll be what happens. Okay, so first off, I'll get all that off of there and then refit this on there and see where we go from that. Good. Yeah, so I marked the line here where I'm going to make my first cut along there, and same on the other side of the bottom down there. And then I put some marks in here where the centerpiece, where the shroud comes up against it. Now, so what I want to do is I'll cut that off, right? Cut off the other side, then I'll start squaring it so that it, like this is weak to the edge here, but if I cut it back about here somewhere, that'll make it stronger. And then this I want to cut it across here somewhere, but I haven't figured out just exactly where yet. So first I'll get this cut down, then I'll clamp it onto the body. Then the plan, I have a plan. What do you know, eh? I'm going to grind, I'll clean this off, grind it down, and then I'll put some reinforcement along here. I'll put a strip of fiberglass, maybe that woven mat stuff, along here and then over the top and along the back, so that it's going to be about a 1/4 inch thick all the way through here. And that will make it so that I can have something to clamp this, clamp the thing onto. And I'll have it as a removable hood somehow or other. I'll get that. Let's just keep on figuring on it. I'll build it as I go, because it's all, I don't have a choice but to build it as I go. And I haven't got the motor mounted in there yet, and that will be an interesting problem, because you can see that the drive for the motor is going to come up here, about here somewhere. So this has to be changed. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. But I guess that's to be the next thing to change. Yeah, there it is. Looks a little bit like a, I don't know if I said this before, it looks like a bassinet for a baby, right? Anyhow, that's basically, I think that's the idea of it right there. Then this is a gap in here that'll have to be, likely what I'll do is I'll get everything, I'm going to reinforce this wall, and that wall, and that wall. And then after that I'll fit this to it, fill that with spray foam, take it off, and then like I'll put plastic on that side or something, take it off, and then I'll what do you call it, I'll go over it with fiberglass, a layer or two of fiberglass, and that'll make it so that it fits that mold right in there. Then I can go ahead and figure out some fastening devices for it to hold it down. Anyhow, that's looking that's interesting, hey? It won't want to go up anyhow because it's, well, at the back it'll want to go up, at the front it'll want to go down, so we'll get it figured. Now, but first, this thing here, I have to fix this here and make that so that it's one piece, I think. I think that would be the right answer. Then put the reinforcement along there. That'll be okay. Then I want to get the motor. First off, I want to sort of place the motor in there if I can. So I'll unhook it here. Then I'll figure out how to get that all joined back together with fiberglass. And I'll see if I can get the motor over here somehow. Yeah, so there's the motor just sitting there. It's not tied down to anything, but an idea where it's going to be. Now I'll see if I slide that thing here forward, see what happens about that, see what I have to do. We'll see. Yeah, it fits underneath there, just barely. Good thing those motors are small. Now, there's got to be some room made for the carburetors to get air. I wonder if I can change how those carburetors sit on there. Don't think so. So there's got to be room made for that, so I have to cut a thing out here for the carburetors. I wonder if it, not really sure what to do about that. I might have to make a because I really don't want to have a outdoor thing there, but maybe I'll make a bulge in it, right? And then I'll be able to put a connector there to feed air to the carburetors. We'll see about that. That'll be one of the challenges. And then I have to cut a hole in its side there to run the exhaust pipe through. So there's really no other place you can put the exhaust pipe, eh? We'll just see. Quite a bit of finagling to get it all in there, I think. But I guess that's what I got to do. Anyhow, so now, but what I want to do first here now that I've got the motor in there and I know that everything will eventually fit in there, get this thing here tied back together and get some reinforcement along here so that when I put the bassinet cover on, it's got something strong to be on. Okay, well I'll get started on that then. There, now I'm going to attempt to repair this. I went and I grinded off all the finish, then put a bit of an angle in there, but it's, you know, it's just the way that it's going to fit. I've got that up a bit there, up a bit more there, And then this side here fits together nice. They both fit together pretty good. Pretty good, close to where they're supposed to be, right? So if I go ahead and I'll put a patch on there, and I won't patch over the screws. Then I'll take the screws out and I'll grind off the other side and patch that, and then build it up a little bit. And then I'll run this stuff along here. That'll be a tomorrow thing. But first I want to get this put together, so I'll just overnight I'll let it harden and patch it up. So it's got to have a little bit of acetone, clean that off, and then put some new fiberglass on there. See if it sticks. Yeah, there now I've got that a patch, just a little patch there, put some plastic down there so it wouldn't stick to the bottom bit. Well, it'll be a messy thing. And that same thing over here. A little patch there and a little patch there. So that hardened overnight, and that's just a starting patch. Then tomorrow I think I'll grind back some more here, and put a big, good sized patch in there. So, and then do the same on the back side. Once this front side gets kind of hardened in there, then the back side won't go anywhere. So I'll get the front side done first, and then I'll work on the back side. And so that will be, and then I'll do this extra bit of ridge line along here. I'm going to put some reinforcement here, but I want to have it sitting down in its proper spot so it'll sit correctly, right? Then that will be, so first thing is that, then get the rest of it done. So anyhow, it'll come along. You just have to be patient with it. It's quitting time today. The days go by pretty quick when you're doing this stuff. You don't have much time for thinking in between. You just do it and then it's done. Well, anyway, we'll see how it goes. So I'll see you, I hope, tomorrow. Bye for now. Whoops. Getting ahead of you. Here's it's flat again. Anyhow, I moved this out here so I can, this part here, I took my little wood braces out from behind, and that seems to have come together pretty good. So I'm just going to leave it for now, hey? This part here has got glued on there again. So now I'm going to grind it off across here and on the inside. Then I'll just fold over a piece of fiberglass over the top of it for a support, so it's stronger here. Maybe I'll put 3 layers on there, and that'll make 6 when it's folded over, eh? Then during that time I have this stuff, this foam here. This stuff here is roofing material for the red roof up there. It stops bats from getting in underneath. So I'll put a bead of this along here, along this edge, and just put the fiberglass around it so that it's a good strong thing. Then that will make this wall plenty strong, and right to the end there, and that'll be a good join for everything. So see what I come up with. Anyhow, a little bit of grinding work. I'll show you after I get it ground off down to just the raw fiberglass, all that gel coat off of it, or whatever kind of coat that is. I think it's gel coat. Anyhow, gotta put a thing on. What do you call that? I have to put a mask on. Yeah, there, I've got it all cleaned off. Now I'll just take some acetone and wipe it down, get the grease off it, any sort of hand grease left. Then I'll put a couple of layers on it and see what I can come up with for making it more rigid. First I'll layer this in, I think. And then we'll carry on to the back, then carry on to the rest of it. See how it goes. Yeah, so there's some layers along there. So that should be back together. Well, I'll wait till later. And I put, like, I've got 3 layers on the outside of this and 3 layers or 4 layers on the inside. So 7 layers extra along that edge. That's got 3 layers on the outside and another 3 layers on the inside. Same on the other side there. So it should be, that should be pretty solid there now. One would hope. Then, now, I'll finish off that edge later, but like I thought of putting some sort of a block on there. It just wasn't, didn't work out, so I didn't do it. But I will still think about it for the future. I might just put some sort of a block along there just to give it a little bit of side strength. There's a bubble right there. And all I have is my bare finger. Oh dear. Couple of bubbles along here, and all I have is my bare finger. Oh well. That should be okay. I'll let it set overnight, see how it works out, and that'll be it for today anyhow. I'll close the doors and turn the fan back on, turn the heat back on. It's unseasonably cool. And rainy and ugly. So there you go. Here we are. You can have a look outside. Their Buster's just waiting out here for a chance to be, you know, take me out of the rain. Take me out of the rain. And he'll sit in the rain and just won't even notice it. It blinks his eyes. So there we go. That's all for today. See you tomorrow. Did I show you that? I just lifted up the main boat above and rolled this thing underneath to work on it. So we'll just leave that for today. See you now. Yeah, here I am back at it, doing more on the, as Willie would call it, Frankencraft or Franken-Hover. Franken-Hover? Franken-Hover. Anyway, but it's now I did this yesterday to strengthen in here, but I folded over a piece of fiberglass and it didn't seal well onto the existing. So I'm gonna grind that off there, and then I'll put some more along, another layer or 2 along here, and I'll likely grind the top of this, and then I think this side is good. It's got like 4 layers on this side and 4 layers or 3 layers on one side and 4 on the other. So that's got lots of layers, including the original. So I'll just grind that down so it looks a nice smooth finish. And same thing down here. This is all like the outside needs a little bit of sanding on it, but mostly it looks pretty good. And here I've got, you know, bubbles, or not bubbles, but bumps. So I'll clean that up a bit. I don't know what I'm going to do. Like the bottom here is reinforced to start with, but you can see where some of the holes have been worn through. Not that it really would make any big difference. So what I might do is, yeah, maybe I'll fix that up, because there's a hole here that needs to be fixed. A couple of holes here need to be fixed. Don't know what they would be from. They weren't from me. But I'll fix up some of this stuff down here, I guess. That would be a good thing to do. It's actually pretty nice and strong now. Everything is, it feels, even though it wobbles around like that, but it feels solid. It feels like a single piece. These ones down here, they all look like they're okay. I don't think they take as much of a beating as the rest of it does. So I'm going to not, well, there's some there that are wore through, but I don't think there's a big problem there that, you know, the weight of somebody sitting on it holds it down, so it's all right. Now, I'm thinking about how to get air into it and how to get air into the motor, number 1, and then exhaust out of the motor, number 2. So that would be like I could drill a hole here to let the exhaust come out. Maybe I'll get the pipe and figure out where it goes. See how that works out. Might have to just do something to keep it on the inside, or maybe build a bulge there so I can put the exhaust around. Oh, I don't know. We'll see. Or maybe I'll just put a hole there and then make it so that it curves, like it goes out like that, so that any air escaping is going to be propulsion air pushing backwards. Yeah, well, we'll just see. I'll just think about this for a bit. Whoops, there, I'll start again. Take two. So I cleaned off this area here to, so I'll put some reinforcement on there, and I'll re-drill that, re-channel that at a later time. Then I've built the first of the louvers here across the way. This is my mold for the louver, so I can take this and then move it up to the next one, which would be around here on that thing. We'll see how it works out. And then I also will reinforce this right here. And then I'll fix up along this top edge here also. I'm going to take some of the other kind of material and drape it over so it's got a wider drape on each side. And that'll be good. So then, that'll be... I'll just fiberglass around this thing here until I get the first layer on there, and that'll hold it tight. Then I can, well, the first couple of layers on there, and dry and hardened, well, first 6 layers hardened onto here, because I want to get a good seal, a good thing happening around here. Now I could go and grind that down a bit so it's a bit smoother to go on to, which is maybe what I should do. I'll think about that a bit, because if I grind too much of it away, I'm going to lose some strength there. I'll just like do the top over the top of it into this area. I'll make a bit of a bump in here somehow or other. How will I do that? I'll get it done. And then I'll get it strengthened out to the side here, so that'll be there might be a little bit of a lump right there. I'll see how it turns out. Anyhow, so I've got my stuff here, this stuff here, which I'll cut into the appropriate sizes and start laying it on there. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there I got 4 or 5 coats on that. I'm just going to let that set for overnight. I have to come along with my little thing and push on that because it seems to be bubbling from underneath. I think that's the plastic bubbling up a bit. Anyhow, and then I've got 2 coats along here and 2 coats on the inside, and I've got 2 coats on the outside of here, and I'm working on the inside coats as we speak. But I need to mix up more goop, so I had my gloves off, so I figured I'd show you what I'm doing. Anyhow, mix more goop and hit it again. Yeah, that's done for the day. Early day today. It's only like 3 o'clock. What'll I do? I forgot to do these. Oh well, I'll pick them up another time. Anyhow, I've laid it in all there, reinforced all this stuff. Then I think I got 3 or 4 layers on there, and then I just put on a piece of plastic over it and some weight on it that'll sort of smooth it out. I hope that'll keep it from bubbling up a bit. And this stuff here seems to be laying down all right, so that's the way it's going to be. I won't try and change it. There's a couple of air bubbles underneath there that I just can't seem to do anything about. So if I had all that fancy gear with vacuum packs and all that, it would work, but I don't have that stuff. So there you go. Anyway, it'll all hold together, I'm sure. I'm sure there's enough on there that's solid, so we'll accept that as being enough fiberglass. And I need another maybe 4 layers on this thing here, on this front air dam or guard. Anyhow, I'll put another 4 layers on that, and that'll be good there. Then I'll like grind it off so it looks nice. Anyway, there you go. That's more fiberglassing. See you next time. Yep, all for the day. So I have to, I'll see you next time around. Yeah, here I am. It's June 7th. I was down to the beach this morning and didn't know what date it was. So anyway, later on you'll see a buster thing, and it'll say June 5th or 6th, but it was actually June 7th. So now, back on to green machine, right? Or as Willie calls it, the, what's he call it? He calls it the Franken-Hover. Franken-Hoover? Anyway, that sounds like it might be like the Hoover Dam. But, so this thing, the little metal mold that I made popped right out from underneath that. There's some lumpity bumps on the bottom of it, but the top is pretty smooth. So what I'll do is this needs more layers. It doesn't have enough layers on it. So I'll put some more layers. But first I'm going to trim up this end here so that it looks the way it's supposed to look, and trim down that stuff there. So a little bit of trimming and a little bit of, what do you call that? And I got my helper here with me. A little bit of trimming and a little bit of molding there to make that look right. And then I'll put some more layers on it, especially out over this area here. I might just cover that right over with cover this part right over with fiberglass so that it, you know, holds tight on there. And then I'll put some on the underneath there too. And I might have to turn it over to do that. We'll see what happens. First I'll do the top bit, then I'll worry about the bottom bit. Now after that, I might get this, try and get it mounted on here to think about how to make it all meet up. So that'll be coming though. First, maybe I better do that first, then I'll have something ready to go. Okay, I'll do that. I'll load that up first on here, and then we'll see what happens. Yeah, there, I didn't absolutely ruin it. It fits. How do you like that? A little bit of a wonky out there. I'll have to fix that somehow. See how. I'm pretty sure I can make something come around there. A little bit of pressure from the inside. Oh well, that's this thing here seems to be right. This thing seems to be right. Sits on there right. Sits on there. Down there right. Sits okay over there. So everything's pretty good. There'll be some air leaks down there. We'll figure that out as we go along. I'm pretty sure there'll be lots of air leaks. So now, next is to see if I can figure out how to make this thing fit on there properly now. Then I'll reinforce this and maybe put another one of these louvers across the front of the fan. But now I have to recut this thing here down to here. Like I went and I reinforced that so there'd be some extra fiberglass on each side of that cut, make it less flimsy. Now I'll reinforce that, and then maybe I'll even put some fiberglass around the outside of it so that it's connected on the outside. But that'll be soon. I'll put some plastic on that, make it so that it doesn't stick to this, and fiberglass it. That'll work. Yeah, it's a good thing this camera is pretty tough, because there it was again, face down on the concrete. Anyway, fell off of something somewhere, I don't know where. So I've put this in and got it fitted to make it, fit to the edges here. A little bit closer on this side. Oh no, about the same, I guess. Let me get around here and look. Yeah, pretty well the same on each side. Now, what I think I might do, and this is what I hadn't planned on this, but I think it would be a good plan, is to connect this all together, like that whole thing, as one piece, and then it'll come in and out that way, and this will also support, when it's bolted down here, it'll support this on the outside. So what I think I'll do is I'll get it bolted down tight and then start working on getting it put together in, I'll have to take it all apart here first, clean off everything, and then put it back together and go from there. Now I've got a bolt in here, one bolt, and a bolt on the other side holding this in it, so it'll go to the same position every time I take it off, I hope. So I'm not screwing around that way. But I think that would stop any air leaks here, number one, and it would create a stronger structure all around, I think, for the for this. And then that canopy there will be a clip-on device. I think I could make it. I can make it all one section, so the whole thing comes off, right? But then I have to reach in here to undo that. So better off to take that as a separate device, because you'd never be able to get into these bolts and nuts here. Okay, that's what'll happen. Yeah, have I been here before? I don't know. But anyway, I've had it all apart and then cleaned up this stuff here so that it'll take another coat of, got all the wax paper off it. So, note to self, don't use wax paper ever again, because it's incredibly difficult to get it all off. Eventually, I had, like using a grinder to take off wax paper. That's pretty amazing. Anyway, I got it all off, and I'm ready to go. I'll secure this to this so that it's one continuous piece. Now this, I put one of those things in, bolts in there, and then it's another note to self, don't use the same old holes that we used before, because they're weak. So I've got it in a new hole here, and I'll put another new hole here. Likely I'll just put 3 of them across, or one, maybe 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4 across the front. That'll hold that down. I don't think I need all these holes along the side here. I don't think I need to get all of them filled in, but maybe put one here and then a couple at the back here, because it's a different fastening system and it seems to be a little bit more, well, maybe a bit more solid, but who knows, eh? Anyway, that's all. Gonna get the fan, put the fan on and make sure I haven't screwed anything up, and then I'll from there I'll go ahead and fit that, see what I got to do about fitting that thing, and then go from there to getting this thing here rigid, solid. Okay. Yeah, there. That I haven't screwed it up so far. That seems to turn all right. So I think we're, like, it may have to, I may move the fan back a little bit more, but once this will be rigid once the top piece is on. It'll be, it won't flop around any. And also when I get this thing here tightened, where am I pointing? Once I get this thing here fiberglassed in, then that'll also make it so it doesn't move around any. So anyhow, we'll carry on. I'll take the fan off again and put it away somewhere safe. Yeah, there it is. That's where this thing here will sit. Like, I put a couple of just steel things for it to set on, so I know it goes back to the same height every time, because I'm always off and on with it. So that's where it'll be, and I cut the other side up a ½ inch just so to make it the same level as this side here. Now I may cut it up higher yet before I'm done, and I'll fill in these holes later, but for now that's sort of where it's going to be as a guideline. Now I'll go ahead and I'll take it off again, or just move it back, and I'll do the fiberglassing here underneath the thing, and put some more fiberglass across here. Then I'll think about doing one across here, but I want to get that tightened in right before I do that. Anyway, there we go. Coming along. Yeah, more fiberglassing. So this will be a solid piece tomorrow. Then I'll take the whole thing off. Once it's solid and hard, I'll take the whole thing off, turn it upside down, and fiberglass on the inside here, so I can reach it without making too big a mess. Anyhow, that's for tomorrow. But for today, it's this part here has got enough layers on it now, I'm sure. This part here is attached as best as it can be attached, and same on this side over here. And that's cut to the right size, so coming along. So I'll see you tomorrow. That's the end of today. Bye for now. Yeah, here we are. Another day with the Hovercraft. So, or the Franken-Hover. Anyhow, this stuff all turned out really very rigid and hard. So I'm happy with that. That's a good fix there. So I'm gonna clean that edge up and clean the back edge up and call that a done deal. Now, when I get it, this also became nice and hard. Now I'll clean up those edges. Now when I get it turned upside down, I'll do some fill in underneath here just to make it stronger on this joint right here on the underside, and same on the other side, and then on this one here I'll get this stuff here filled into the edge of the line here so that it makes a good solid fit. But before that, now I've got these, I put these brackets on here so that I could lay this on and know where it sits. And then I've got an idea how to make make it fit to the back of the unit here. So I'll just work on that a bit. I might have to, like, this will likely get cut here somewhere and then extended that way. We'll just see. I'll show you as I get along. Okay, I'll get started. I'll get these edges cleaned up and show you how that looks out. You want to watch? You can watch. You haven't done much watching this time around, have you? Oh, yeah, see if I can do this without breaking anything. About there. Light on the picture. I have to get my safety gear on. I'll come back to you. Yeah, here I am. We'll see what I can do about cleaning this up. Yeah, there. I cleaned up all the little edges that are, weak. This is really, really strong. I'm happy with that. And then down here, like I cleaned up all the little sort of hairy bits. Well, not all of them, but most of them. And this is very strong, so that's a forever thing there. Now, get that on, and I'll figure out how to do this back bit. and see how that goes. It's sort of coming together. The back bit, like this part here, will be removable because that's how it has to be. Otherwise I'd never be able to get into all that stuff. And then this whole bit, the whole bottom bit's removable. It just whoosh goes away. And well, it's not supposed to whoosh go away when the motor's running, but we'll just see how things work out. Anyhow, there we go. That's coming along. Yeah, there I'm using up some of those pieces that I made earlier. A couple of videos ago I made some pieces to put slats in here, but didn't use them, but I'll use them here, and then I'll be able to just cover them in here. That'll get covered over somehow or other. I'll figure that out. And then the so now I've got, see how that's got a bit of a curve to it, got it going like that. Makes it fit tight here, fit tight across the top, and then I'll get this fiberglass here, get this fiberglass across here so it's solid. Then I'll cut this to fit. I'll put the fan in first before I cut that to fit. Make sure the fan's got lots of room, but I think it's got lots of room. And then then that'll be that back bit done. Then it's just a matter of filling in the sides here. And that'll come over and cover up all that stuff here, which I have to get covered up eventually. Anyhow, I'll fiberglass across that seam there, which is nice and straight right now. Get it while it's hot. Yeah, so there I've got that in there, started in there, but you see where I tried to go around the corner there, it didn't work very well, but I'll likely cut that out and try again once this is all hardened, because you can't be beating on it too hard. Buster wants attention. Anyway, so there you go. That's so what did I get done this week? I actually did all right this week. I got that part there made, and that's solid. Got everything, all this stuff put together in here, solid. Now I'm wondering if there's enough, like that engine takes an awful lot of room. There's room underneath it for air to get through. Like I don't know if there's enough room for air to get through there. I might have to widen out that body a bit. I don't know. I'll think about it. I'll think. We'll see if it actually flies and goes. And if it does, then it's good. If it doesn't, well, might have to do some reconfiguring, because it's got a more powerful fan now, and a lot of air is going to get dammed up in there. So it might push an awful lot down below, more than it needs down below, and start spinning in circles. We'll see. Anyway, but first things first. So that'll be it for this episode. I'll leave it at that, and then come back and get some more done next week. So I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, do come on back for more. It's, you know, just build it as you go sort of thing, this thing. Okay, see you later. Have fun. Yeah, here we are. It's June, maybe 6th, maybe the 5th. I'm not sure. I'll put a little note up later. It says what date it is. And it's a little bit grim the last 5 or 6 days. It was horribly hot and dry for, well, it was hot and dry, well, let me see. It was hot for a few days and dry for a month. So we've had more rain in the last 2 days than we had for all of May. But that doesn't say much because we didn't have much rain in May. Anyway, here we are at the beach, and it's a little bit blustery down here. There's a cruise ship in at Charlottetown. They'd be having a sad day today out in the cold and the wind. And windy it is, so there you go. There you are. June-uary. It's supposed to warm up again next week. We'll see how things go. See you later.